officials will meet out, meet out as this last week. They'll tell us what it takes to build a movement on this question, in addition to the legal status.
Thank you for being here, and once again, as Joey pointed out, you know, that I think the final number that the PLO reached was what, 110?
It's now 112.
Okay, 112. Well, 112 African Americans. Well, that number really is greater. It's always greater. Imagine the men that did not come forward because they was embarrassed. Imagine the men who served their prison time and went home. Imagine the ones who was just taken to the police station and beaten and let go. What John Burge did was he crippled a community, believe it or not. Because really what you see today is the fruit of John Burge. Give you a good example. If I take Enrique and I lock him up and I know that Enrique didn't commit the crime, that leaves the perpetrator where? In society. Guess who's victimized all over again? Society, over and over and over again. It's like I tell people all the time, I don't know if their loved ones committed these crimes or if their loved ones did not commit their crimes, but some of them I can pinpoint and say no. Stanley Wrice is a person that, you know, you hear of him, but I was right there with him. And looking at Stan's situation, this is a young man that I think Stan filed about 7 successive post-convictions. At least 7. Trying to get the court to at least acknowledge the fact that he was beat and tortured while at Area 2 violent crime. And if my memory don't slip me, I think his beating occurred, at least torture, occurred in 1982. Yeah, 1982. So this means Stan has been locked up 30 years. 30 years. I see Mary Enoch, I see Mary Johnson, I see Greta, there's Billy and Robin hiding back there. And how can we forget Miss Durham and Mrs. Wright and Gloria Johnson and Lou Meyer, as well as Stan and others here. Look how long this has went on. This has went on much too long. And as Joey noted earlier about Mrs. Plummer, also Deloney, this is Mrs. Deloney here, Javan Deloney, who is also one of the 15 that will be represented should Stan receive relief from the Supreme Court. No, I was not able to make it to Springfield. I had 2 different engagements, and one was either fight for Troy Davis' life or else say, well, listen here, guys, I think it was about like 15 of us went and said, well, okay, we really need this 16th person to go. So I kind of like evaluated the importance of the situation, and plus, no way in the world I would have been back to catch my flight to go to Texas. I mean, not to Texas, Georgia. It would feel like Texas. But all of these experiences to me is a wake-up call. And really, John Burge and his tortures, it occurred right here. You actually walking on soil where men got the daylights beat out of them. This used to be a shopping mall. See, and the police used to take men in back of the shopping mall and beat them. A lot of people thought that it was 51st and Wentworth. 51st and Wentworth was doing its dirt. But also, John Burge and his boys would creep over to these communities, and we call it kidnapping. They'll beat you, and then when they get through beating you, they'll drop you into the enemy territory. They know you're a vice lord, or they know you're a disciple, and they say, well, okay, we're going to put you over here in this community. Get back home. John Burge, to me, is worse than an animal, because it really takes an evil-minded person to plot these tortures that was plotted. And may I add, they followed his command. That's where most people, yes, the cops, some of them was dirty. Most of them went to school. They went to Bowen High School over here. They went to school together on the east side. No, it's the east side. Right, he went to Bowen High School over on the east side. These people went to school, they grew up together. So when these serious crimes occurred in the community, they just pull out, basically, a name out of the hat, so to speak, from the people who they have already in the police station. See, so now you go through all of this hell, and as Joey explained earlier, some men did complain to their attorneys, some complained to their family members, some complained to the jailers. See, first, this was looked up as a joke. No one wanted to believe it, even though they already clearly, I'm just saying consciously, they knew. How can you not know as a judge when, it's not Jackie, it's Andrew. When Andrew Wilson walks inside of a courtroom, that should have raised flags throughout the entire criminal justice system. So it goes deeper than just John Burge. It goes deeper than just Mayor Richard Deley. This was a scheme to lock up individuals who they did not, well, no, it was a scheme for promotions. But it was also a scheme to lock up people who they didn't like, and to cause rival competition among the street gangs. So now today, the south side of Chicago is a war zone. We've looked at Roseland. It turned to what? Rubble. So me being 16 years old, I go through the process of Area 3 violent crimes, and listening to Grayland's attorneys yesterday as he explained how his head was dumped into a toilet. You know. But being in that same bathroom, watching a cop get drunk. So people come and tell me, hey man, you know, in the bathroom, hell, I already had my woes in that bathroom. So anything that you tell me about that bathroom, I'm gonna believe you. Because if I never had went through this and somebody walked up to me and said, hey, listen here, man, I saw a white cop in the bathroom drinking alcohol with cowboy boots on, I'm gonna say, man, he crazy. Because we don't view this to be the truth. Now here it is, you have kids that come through the system, young, uneducated, because, well, they don't look right, they may look dirty. So people look at it and say, oh man, did you hear what they say that kid did? Right there, you're convicted. Judges haven't changed their minds, how they feel about John Burge torture victims. We have had a few positive changes within the criminal justice system, but many of them are still playing hardball. That's why men are stuck in their situations. And as I have stated before to the torture victims' mothers, basically, it doesn't do their child no good. First of all, prison officials, they listen to certain things. And they report that stuff right back to the IG office. The IG, they got an IG office in every prison. It's called legal affairs. You got to call there to get in there to visit any inmate. So you sitting here talking about, yeah, man, when I get out, man, I'm going to sue Burge and I'm going to do this. No, because correctional officers' jobs since the change of prisons as a result of they want to put Richards back, then they want to put and say Larry Hoover. They don't know who to blame. But the bottom line of it is they changed the system. Now everything is under sheriff. Ain't nothing you can do. It's a law that they can't do it. It don't do you no good. The only way that I see us effectively winning, like I think it was 3 young men that was released, what, this week alone? To achieve that type of milestone, I do believe the road is to Judge Beeble. I do believe that the road eventually is going to be up to us. But when I say us, a lot of us ain't here in this room. See, until we able to almost knock at the mayor door, or else go to Crooked Toe Anita Alvarez and knock at her door, and they say, well, Anita's not here. Say, well, we just want to give her a note, tell her she'll be evicted in 90 days. Because we ain't gonna vote her in. People have changed their mindsets. Anita Alvarez, first of all, should not be in office. Anita Alvarez, I don't care how much you love her as a friend, or if she a drinking friend, or a party friend, I'm telling you, the woman is evil. I'm serious. I've had encounters with her, and I'm excited about having some more because she's going to be on a campaign trail. Encounters about the torture victims. See, right. So what they do is they look out the window and say, oh man, look at those old people down there, man, they're making a little noise. My whole strategy, and it is a strategy, I would say a scheme because it is a scheme too, a scheme against the other side. We need to get wrongful convicted as well as Chicago police torture victims, and we need to put on one of the largest rallies in the city of Chicago. The key is how you get them up.
That's the thing. That's right. That's the thing.
Because when we tell you what I did, it was super cold out here last week, but I still, people say, man, don't go over there at Southside, man. Sure, they may kill you. Man, forget these people over there. I went and I flyered. So I went into the communities and flyered. I went to the L stations and flyered. Now, when we tell you, until we get our priorities together, we're going to suffer as a people. And it ain't got nothing to do with no race no more. It got economics. See, Joy may survive because she knows the law. See, but us, we may suffer. We have to think about, first of all, we need a direction how to ensure that men who are released out of these prisons, once serving long prison terms, man, they need some counseling.
Right. Yes.
Man, I get lost in Chicago every day. Sure, and then I get mad. See, so that's one thing that we gotta understand right there. They're gonna need some counseling. Everybody didn't come up through, well, Joey's system. Everybody didn't come up through, well, the Northwestern system. So when I got out, I was able to receive just an inch of the things that I should have received. And that makes a very key step towards progress. Within a month after being released, I had never worked a computer in my life. I could work a computer because they provided those services. I know Loyola does the same thing for some ex-offenders as well. But it needs more of that. And they need some psychological counseling. I'm telling you what I know.
Yes. Yes.
See, I deal with them all the time. Matter of fact, I got a phone right here, and it's nothing but all I do is accept MA phone calls. And I'm telling you now, they pissed, they mad, they upset. So now you trying to play as the communist. Oh man, y'all want to say that the doctor did all this type of stuff? We better wake up, and we better smell the coffee because it's brewing long overdue. We're going to have to also figure how to make some noise. Men getting can't get no job. They can't even get a job. I know at least 2 people who've been fully cleared and can't even get a job. I know some of them living under viaducts. So talk to one girlfriend of a young man who got out, and she said, well, you know, he got out. When he got out, you know, it was like he went crazy. He gonna deal with some issues. The key of it is there's no services available.
No.
So because there's no services available, if he don't control his anger, what he's going to end up doing, he's going to go downtown somewhere and he's going to snap and the police just going to boom, they're going to kill him. So we need to somehow, and you know, I want to say that I only see one person in there 20, and that's Mary Enoch. We need some younger people in our movement. The key is how to reach them. See,
Right.
African American, Occupy in the hood don't want to get along with Occupy in Chicago. Occupy in Austin say, well, forget Occupy in Roseland. Hold on, we should be throwing all those indifferences to the curb and say, listen here, our whole strategy is, and it's like I keep telling these kids all the time, they love going to jail, I don't. But when we tell you, listen here, until we get some criminal justice reform, we haven't achieved anything. The criminal justice system has affected everybody in this room, or you wouldn't be here. Everybody. And when we tell you a more larger scale, a couple of blocks away from you. How long we got to keep putting up with this? Statesville prison, corroded, falling apart. Shoot, you take toothpaste and hold a piece of the brick and say, well, sure, we may pass inspection and we may not. That's the conditions that those men are living in. So now you get out of those conditions. Hell, when first day I got out, shoot, I woke up at 4. Matter of fact, I think I had just went to sleep and I woke up at 4. Started cooking. You know, what the heck wrong with this? You know, got a job. You know, no, that's the time when you leave the prison. So when you're conditioned to those ways, 28 years locked up inside of someone's hellhole. bring back out, I can tell you exactly what they're doing right now. Per gallon. Right, because it sticks with you. And that stuff stick with you forever. Yeah. You be sitting back and whatnot, and you see something on TV, oh no, prison guards won't like get the child. Right. Because those conditions are in you. And you gotta live, you gotta come out of that. That's the importance of something that should have sparked this whole entire nation is Troy Davis. Troy Davis should have started a movement for reform within our criminal justice system like never before. I differ with the people's opinion that the change needs only in Georgia. The change needs from the Supreme Court due to the fact Troy would be still living if we had a remedy for innocence. In the United States Supreme Court, the highest court of the land, we don't even have a remedy for innocence.
That's sad.
Yes. So we got 9 Supreme Court justices and what they saying, how many billion people here?
7
Right, so my key is we hollering in pockets because we won't lay our differences to the side and come together. The Mexicans say, well, man, we can't get along with those blacks. The blacks say, man, we can't get along with the Mexicans. So we always lose out. It's divided, conquered and divided. That's what we faced with right now. See, last night, a lot of people say, well, okay, yeah, he went home and whatnot and went to sleep. But hell no, I was up till 4 a.m. writing prisoners. Informing them about what happened to Grayland's situation. Informing them about Burge. A lot of them don't have access to this. You know why? It takes them a whole week or maybe a week and a half to get today's newspaper.
More than that.
What common sense is that? When you get the news is super old. Because some of them can't afford TVs. TVs cost what, $218?
I got the list up in session.
$218 for outdated television that I went to a warehouse and checked out that they sell for $30.
Get out of here.
Deleted typewriters sell almost for $300 inside of a prison.
Making money off of
A razor that costs $22.50 here costs you $78 in IDOC.
That's right. And don't write
See,
disposable.
so all of us are being affected one way or the other. This stuff here, John Burge, what he did, he didn't just beat the individual. I was talking to Ronnie last night, Ronnie Kitchens. Do you understand the conditions of the parents once their children finally got out? Shoot, Ronnie's mother is, I think she suffers from dementia. Yeah, Alzheimer's. So, Alzheimer's. My mom's died. So many other mothers didn't die. Daryl Cannon's mama died. So, that's one thing. Even look at Joanne Patterson. You can't do nothing but feel sorry for Joanne Patterson.
Tell them who she
Oh, the mother of Aaron Patterson. Well, I thought everybody may have known. But anyway, when are we going to really make that push drive? I want to go and meet with Emmanuel the way Occupy did. No, the nurses did, along with Occupy. And I want to do a mic check. Yeah, mic check. Go in and get the mayor. Right. The mayor is busy. The mayor is busy. Go pull them out. See, until we're able to make these demands, it's like the Governor Quinn. Until we're able to approach these people and demand them. Right now, you got Howard Brookins. He wants to run for Cook County State's Attorney. Again, he can win, but the key of it is educating the community. And he may not have enough time to do that. We need to start educating our people and put effective people into office. And before I close, I would like to acknowledge we have Bertha, who is also a mother of torture. We have Queen Bay, who is the cousin of James Gibson, who is a Chicago police torture. Jeanette Plummer, who her son Johnny, who is a Chicago police torture victim. This is Amanda Shackelford, Gerald Reed's mother, who is also a Chicago police torture victim. Who can we not forget over here? Here is Mary Johnson and her son, Paradise, and that's all I'm gonna do, but his name is Michael Johnson. He's still locked up as a result of Chicago police torture. And you have Miss Deloney, Chicago police torture victim. And I think, I just want to be on the wild, I think this is Margaret, okay? And what I'm doing is we're looking into allegations of a young man by the name of Martinez, who was accused of killing his child, but he has some striking resemblance to being taken down to 51st and Whitworth, and he's a Chicago police torture victim. The bottom line of it is 2 or 3 or maybe 5 or 6 different categories of torture victims. The only thing I know is that this stuff is occurring. The alliance is filled up to the rim due to the fact that we have ran out of space to keep all these files. Medical conditions and wrongful convictions is what fills up. And when we tell you, we are a group, and that's the way with most of these groups. They survive off of nothing. Nothing. And when we tell you they do the most effective work to help all their inmates, it's not one letter that the Alliance received that they don't respond to. But people look at other groups and say, oh man, what a wonderful job those people are doing. Well, Ted and a few interns is a wrecking machine to the Department of Corrections, at least mail-wise, because shoot, they probably get the most mail from the Chicago Alliance than anywhere, than any organization in the state of Illinois. And I'm being honest about that. And that's because what we're trying to do is to sincerely help people, but when we tell you, it requires the people getting up. If we got 20 torture victims, 23 torture victims, I want to see 23 people there. See, why should I be out there and I'm busting my chops saying, well, listen here, we get ready to go up here to Crooked Toe, Anita Alvarez, and when you saw how they approached us, they had all type of security there.
Yes. Yes.
See, due to the fact that, first of all, they knew we were coming. And not only did they know that we were coming, they knew that we were coming because the previous day on the Flint Farmer case, this is the young man who was shot 3 times while on the ground. 3 times. So the media goes, hey, Mr. Clements, what do you have to say? Shoot, goddamn, why it ain't been on the news sooner? This should be an international story. You wound a man and he fall flat on his face, and you clearly see by the police being goofy and stupid, or maybe he just didn't care. He had his dashboard camera.
Right.
And the dashboard camera records him shooting a man 3 times in the back of the head. I looked at the autopsy reports. 2 right here and 1 back there. And so I'm saying, well, okay, why he's struggling? It's because nobody want to step up and say, well, listen here, brother, come on. Let me take your hand. I'll help you. See, because they don't know. They come from a poor section in the city of Chicago. They don't know. So they'll just sit there one night, and the statute of limitations be like, tick, 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 gone. And they lose out on reaching compensation for their son when this should be international news. I think that they would fire the officer on the spot because the previous day he had just shot another person and killed someone. So that's something that we need to understand. We need to start. And when we tell you, it ain't we. Because I think all of us in this room, we do all that we can do. Hell, if the kids want, what's this music they like, maybe we got to go to, FM Supreme and get her to throw a concert to get them out there. Somehow we're going to have to get these people up and get them active and get them involved. Because when we tell you, we can't help their family members if they don't want to get involved.
Right.
And I'm being honest.
Right.
It takes money to run this stuff. And when we tell you, listen here, 99% of the time I take my own pocket and I throw my own pocket up there to help these brothers. You got brothers in the penitentiary and they have nothing. Man, I don't got no soap, I ain't got nothing. I go buy my money order and send them money. But the bottom line of it is where's their families?
I don't care.
See, I only had what? My mom, that one person. And I tell people all the time, you say, man, all the brothers, my mom. Matter of fact, Gerald be saying that all the time. I say, Gerald, listen here. That's all you need.
Is your mom.
Because she's your voice. I said, you sitting up here thinking back in the days of Martin Luther King, 1,000 people gonna come running down the hill talking about no, them days over with. But if you have your moms, at least she keep you alive out here in these streets. Because this stuff here is stressful, it's hard.
Yes, very stressful.
So I do thank you. I love you all. And somehow, before we all die, let's get these suckers.
Gerald is a founder of the Alliance, was the head of the Committee to Free Angela Davis in Chicago.
No, I was one
Worked today at Sylvia Woods, somebody you may remember, along with Josephine Wyatt and others who are here, some of us older. Gerald,
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. It's great to be here. I think Mark has made an excellent fundraising speech, among other important content that he gave. I just want to say a couple of things. One is I really appreciate all the speakers so far, and I'm the one thing in between you and our final speaker, Stan Willis. But I just want to bring attention to the systemic issue. Not that anybody here isn't clear, but it's not just some corrupt individuals doing this. What we have is a criminal justice system that has, I would say, a list of people that are considered disposable. And so if they are responding to this or that, they treat certain communities a certain way, and they treat other communities another way. You know, I too remember this neighborhood as Mark described it. I went to high school not far from here. Back in the day, of course. But I remember not too long ago when 14 women in this neighborhood were brutally raped and murdered over a period of a couple of years, and it never made the news. And because the women, many of the women may have had drug or sex work in their backgrounds, it was considered they weren't worthy of being, it wasn't worthy to talk about the dangerous situation that this community was in during that time. But if something happens in Lincoln Park or North Avenue, it's on the news immediately. That it's not to say that it shouldn't be on the news on North Avenue and Lincoln Park, but you can't tell me that some communities are worthy of that and others should not be. Right. So it is a systemic issue, and not the poor behavior of bad individuals. And that's what I think the Alliance brings to this whole discussion. We have to connect the dots. It is economic. It is racial. Yes. Race still matters. Yes. And it is absolutely true that the most powerful weapons, it seems, that those who remain in power have been able to use now over, I would say, 100 years, is to divide and conquer. And I think the recognition that this has to be disassembled, that's going to be the new ways going forward in terms of, I would say, 21st century movements in addition to the use of technology. That said, it is true, the Alliance is a very small organization that takes on huge issues with just a few resources. And we have to count on you all this afternoon to help us make this true. Free all wrongfully convicted. But also grow our numbers. Make these cases as important, find their way on the list of the movement. This has to go along.
Coming back here to go see his teacher.
Justice component has to go along with economic